Quincy had accepted two states, Palestine state and Jewish state.
Why didn't Israel accept the two-state solution 25 years ago? 78% of the country of historic Palestine would have been recognized as Israel, accepted by the Palestinians, by the Arab world, by the Muslim League, by the international community. Why didn't it grab that at that time? You can't explain it by settlers. You know, the settlers, the real settlers are 1% of the Israeli population, the ideological settlers. There's got to be some bigger reason why. Why all these years?
What's the reason?
And I think the reason is that the occupied territories are kind of a laboratory in which Israel develops weapons, security systems, and a whole, what I call a matrix of control that's exportable to other countries. So the occupied territory is a resource for Israel. It gives it two things: tremendous economic importance. Defense exports are about a third of the Israeli economy. It gives Israel that prestige, that international clout.
You're trying to say that the Israelis and the Israeli leadership and the Palestinian leadership are almost on the same page in failing to reach an agreement, which is not the case. That is not the case at all, because you have one side that has been promoting negotiations and endorsing the negotiations as being the only way to solve this conflict, while you have the Israeli side, the Israeli leadership, and precisely the current government of Netanyahu that say that doesn't give a shit about the negotiations and they don't care about anything, and they're only moving on and on and on with the settlements.
Both sides are angry at you. Both.
It's okay. It's okay. They have the right to be angry.
You failed. You failed.
Don't say I failed. If you say that I did not produce an agreement, you're right. I did not get an agreement. Israelis and Palestinians are angry at me not because I'm making peace, because I have failed to deliver. Every minute, I'm not delivering peace. It could be the life of their sons and daughters.
Israel is quite generous.
Would you agree to go back to the 1967 border?
Not all.
Would you be willing to split Jerusalem?
No. Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. No.
Would you be willing to give the Jordan Valley to the Palestinians?
No. No.
So basically, what you believe in is that the Palestinians will be a territory, but it will be surrounded by Israel.
And what's wrong being surrounded by Israelis?
What's your view on the occupation of the West Bank and Gaza?
I don't see it as occupation. It was our nation for 2,000 years.
It's a very small country. This notion of dividing it was never really bought by anybody. Various people use this notion of division to suit their own interests, including, by the way, some Palestinians and most Israeli Zionist leaders. But really, it's not really genuine. Nobody has really come up with a plan to divide this very small country with its natural resources being limited.
So they're wasting their time.
It is not only a waste of time, it's totally counterproductive and totally against peace to advocate for this. And the evidence for that is the past 20 years. What have they been doing in the past 20 years of negotiation? Why haven't they? If it was so simple to arrive at a two-state solution, West Bank and Gaza call it Palestine, and 78% of historic Palestine call it the Jewish state of Israel. Why haven't they signed this deal? It's a very simple deal.
When you say today two-state solution, for many, for me included, it's an interim solution. Interim towards what? Now, this towards what is something which is missing from the book. Nobody wants to talk about it.
Are they discussing a way to engage even after the two-state?
I don't really believe it. I don't believe it.
For the cause of peace, is it better to isolate from the Palestinians or engage with the Palestinians?
Certainly to engage. You cannot have peace by isolation.
Rationally, maybe to engage. Subconsciously to isolate. Most of the Israeli population don't recognize, don't know the Palestinians, and they feel that their day-to-day life are going quite good, so they tell themselves, why do we need this engagement?
I think that isolation is what we call in Hebrew a matkon. It's a recipe for disaster. And will create an ongoing conflict and will lure more and more Palestinians to hate Israel.
I see.
to create two states. That's why I'm so much against this idea of artificially creating in such a small country. If we were like Texas and we created two states within Texas, North Texas and South Texas, like North Dakota and South Dakota, okay, that could work.